Okay, it is now March 17th. We have just over a month to get the Ranger completely prepped for the Danger Ranger. So I guess let's get to work. If it will start, that is. Okay, Ranger fired up no problem. Got pulled into the shop. I guess let's just get straight into it. Just gonna do some time lapsing, get the interior ripped out. Here in a little bit, Austin's gonna help me take the back window and windshield out of it too. So let's get into it.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are gonna do an update on our Danger Ranger today. Coming in from the future, it's already torn all the way down. Tyler was able to get a bunch of work done yesterday. And we've done even more this morning. So what we're doing today is we're getting the cage put in this thing. So we're getting everything out of the interior and then cutting out all the exoskeleton so the cage can go all the way up in there. But it's looking like it's going to fit pretty good. So let's check it out. So we ended up taking the dash out of this thing and we filled the bed with the interior. That's how much shit came out of this thing. So we got all the windows out. Because you're not allowed to run windows in this race. There was like a exoskeleton that went from here up all the way around the whole thing, which was making it not easy for the cage to fit in there. So we chopped that out. We still got to clean it up. We're going to put the stock dash back in, put a good steering wheel on it, and then this Datus boy is going in there. So we're going to be in style while we're doing it too. The rule book's pretty straightforward, but we do have to have a full 4-point cage and then a windscreen, like actual screen, not like a windshield, not allowed that. And then we got to have a window net for the door. So everything should be pretty straightforward, but we'll see. Going around to the other side, All-Star Performance sent us a cage for this thing. It actually fits a G body, like an old Chevy Monte Carlo or something, but it's all pre-bent, it's all pre-notched. It came together like this already. Everything was just tacked in place, and then Joe welded it out for us while he was here by himself earlier waiting for us. But everything's already notched and then ready to go together. This is like your main hoop, your halo for the top, and then you have your A-pillar down bars that go. And we test fitted this thing up pretty good, and it seems like it's gonna fit. So let's get this thing in here. Okay, so we're about to start putting the main hoop and getting it figured out, but because of the sheet metal on these chassis are so thin, you have to put a plate down to actually weld to, so you can get a good weld from the bar to the chassis and gives it some actual rigidity. So we've got some plate. We're using 1/4 inch, which is overkill, but it's all we could get at like your basic store. All the steel places are closed today. So we just cut it out, cleaned it up. We're gonna put it back here in the corner like that, have it welded in. That way we have a good structural piece to put our main hoop to, and then we'll get all the main hoop mock-up into place and then just start sticking stuff in there. The main thing we're going to do is we're going to get the main hoop set where it's supposed to be, and then get the main halo set where it's supposed to be and just kind of tack to it and then pull it back out so we can easily full weld around the entire thing, because getting a MIG gun up there is a pain in the butt. And then we got to figure out what we're going to do with these A-pillar bars, because they don't appear to be long enough. So this cage, like I said, is for like a Monte Carlo or something like that. And we took measurements on the main hoop and everything, and it just happens to fit perfectly. But yeah, so we'll see what we can figure out. Okay, so now that the plates are welded in and all finished up, they were awful to weld in. You had to really become a contortionist to get the stick back in there to weld. So we went to put in the main hoop. It was 2.5 inches too long. By the time we chopped 2.5 inches off the bottom, it literally fits perfect, and we got it in here and we're starting to mock it up. So this thing fits so perfectly. 2.5 inches off the top, and it is hugging the top, hugs the side perfectly. You could almost weld it all the way around. It's so perfect. We had to cut a little bit off the end here, and we've even got the main hoop fitted up in here. Freaking perfect. It, like I said, was pre-notched and everything fits perfectly. We've just got the ratchet straps in here to keep it from falling on our heads. And even this A-pillar bar fits almost perfect. It was exactly 2.5 inches too short. So we're either gonna have to have something remade or see about some rules about attaching the 2.5 inches that we cut off the other piece to this. I don't know. I don't want to spend a bunch of money on this race that I'm gonna be in and not ever use this truck again. So we'll see what we can come up with. But let's get this thing the rest of the way in here and start tacking some stuff up. Okay, so we got the back main hoop bar and then the halo bar fully welded in, and we started working on the A-pillar bars. And we've got everything full welded in. Of course, the welder started being a pain in the ass and started causing some ugly welds that we had to go back over once we figured it out. But A-pillar bars are in, the dash bar's in. We chopped the dash out pretty good. We got the seat brackets in there to where we can kind of mock up around the seats, and we're working on the door bars right now. Ended up, because this thing fits a G-body and not a Ranger, the way we had to put the A-pillar bars made the door bars too short. So instead of being able to use their fancy NASCAR style bars, we're having to make our own short bars. So we went up to our local metal store, got a stick of 1 3/4, because that's what the rest of it is. And we're cutting up some bars right now, getting everything fitted up. As you can see, we don't have to run a windshield, so we weren't really worried about it because this part doesn't fit at all. But I mean, everything came up pretty good. Fits well. We got one bar set to go in here. If I can do this one-handed. It is slightly angled downwards, only like a degree. But we wanted to make it to where my legs could get out as deep as possible because we do have to triple stack these. So we've got a couple of these to sit up here. And then, like our interior, it all made its way into the bed. This bar is too short, but gives you the idea. And we have to do one more stack of that. So luckily the kit came with a bunch of these little notch pieces, so we'll just use those. And on the other side, it only requires 2 bars. So we're just gonna do 2 horizontal bars and then call it good for that. But let's get back to it. So we got these all measured out. I know it looks like it's far back, but we measured it from the bar back there. We have to do 3 bars on the driver's side. So we're gonna do one more stack with the same height spacers, and then the 3rd bar will be there. We wanted to set those up quite a bit higher because we only need 2 on the driver's or on the passenger side. So everything's coming together pretty well. We just test fitted the seat, put a steering wheel on, realized the steering wheel we were going to use isn't going to work. So we're going to have to go with like a flat steering wheel and like a quick release, because otherwise there's no way I'm getting my ass out of this truck. So, but it's coming together great. Let's finish it up. Okay, so the cage is completely tacked in. We're going to re-mock the seat back up on the brackets here and set it again, make sure everything seems like it's going to work, and I'll be able to get in and out over these bars because they are pretty high. When you see, this is where the door striker is, like where the handle is, and the bar's above it. So let's check it out. So just get in holding that. Yeah, there you go. Not bad. I think the seat's back too far because I'm back into this crossover bar. How high is my head compared to the bar? I feel like I'm a fair bit, at least like. I feel like we're gonna need back. I think you're son to go back. Yeah, we're definitely gonna need a quick release. Because that's not too bad. Nah. So it seems like I should fit okay. Got to make some adjustments to the seats, but we're waiting for our seat brackets to come in from status, so we can use them. We don't want to take the existing ones off my race car, but we got new ones coming in for it. So for the new car, so we will put them in the Ranger for temporary use until we get done with this race, and then we'll take it out and put them in the car. But once those get here, we'll dial in the exact seating position. Once we get the dash in, we'll be able to hang the steering wheel where it belongs in its factory location, and then really dial in exactly what we got to do with the steering wheel to make sure that I can easily get in and out. Because if there's an emergency, a rollover situation, or a fire or anything, I have to be able to get out of either door with no issues. Otherwise, the car won't pass tech. Not that it's really a tech thing, but it shouldn't be an issue. We just got to make sure it's as easy for me to get out as possible. I do have a quick release, a couple of them here, so we can throw those on if we need to. We just got to make sure we get a good wheel that will not be like too bunched up into my chest where I can't turn.
This is good.
Getting in. Oh boy, she's loosey goosey.
Well,
I know it's not tight.
nothing's tight right now. The seating position is. I think we're good.
Bro,
Yeah,
she seems to be leaning a little Leonard.
but the whole truck's leaning left.
Is that because
Keep that in
I'm
mind.
chubby?
No, the whole truck is leaning left because the tires are flat.
Ah, well that makes so much sense.
And you're chubby.
But no. Wow, dude. Disrespect.
No.
No, I just feel.
Sorry, you gave me that one.
I feel like this is hitting me. Or is that just
I think it's probably partially the wheel,
the wheel does?
but
seem
also,
way wrong.
this,
Let's try moving it over.
but also this leaning left does not help.
I mean, realistically, we can mount this in any spot we want if we're gonna make our own custom mounts.
Yeah.
But like honestly, up and down.
Which you may want to go as far right as possible, just to avoid
Yeah, dude.
avoid elbow on the bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit my elbow on this bar no matter what, though.
Yeah, then it just fell into
2
place.
minutes.
Money.
Dude, I love. All right, so cage is all in. We got the roll cage padding in. We still got to zip tie it into place. With my knee sitting right here, it's gonna bang into that or here, and then my elbow is gonna hit right there a lot with the steering wheel being right here. We'd made these custom brackets out of just some 1-inch, and then we welded a nut up in there to where you could bolt 10 millimeter grit 8 bolts up into all 4. So this thing is sturdy. It is not going anywhere. But yeah, I mean, everything came out great. Got our beautiful status seat in there. She's bolted in, ready to rock. Perfect seating position. As you see, we got these 4 bars up in here to support this screen, and I still have to zip tie the screen on there. For starters, I zip tied it around here just to hold it into place. And then walking around to the other side, it's just hung way over and zip tied it over here. I'm gonna go back through and then nicely make sure it's flat, zip tie it to this as good as I possibly can. And I need to figure out if I'm gonna zip tie it to the cage itself, which is probably the move because we don't really want it around these pillars. And then lastly, I get to go through the fun part of cutting this all the way with dikes. Maybe there's a better way to cut it. I don't know, but truck's coming along great. Next thing would be making this thing look pretty. So we're getting there. Almost done. This is going to be a super long video. Sorry about that, but try to get all the build in one video if possible. Well, half the battle is done. That was freaking miserable, dude. Like I showed you before, I just kind of stretched it all across and zip tied it. From here, I actually went 1 by 1 all the way up, pulled it as tight as I possibly could because it's obviously not straight between the cage and then the lines, and then just evenly spaced because I'm a nerd like that. Evenly spaced zip ties all the way across. It's not perfectly straight, but got the job done as much as possible. Now this is super shiny, which causes a bit of a glare in the driver's seat. So I am still going to have to paint this like a satin black to keep it from causing a glare in the race. but it shouldn't be a big issue. Okay, so fab work is about done. I don't know, it's been like a 2-week endeavor here, but Tyler and I have been busting it out. We just finished putting in the mounts for the window net, kind of a boring thing. We didn't really know what we were doing, so I didn't want to film it. It's embarrassing. But I did some Googling to figure out how it works. Basically, the window net has like a little latch similar to like your cheap like 5-point harnesses. And then you slide this up onto like a seat belt and then latch it into place. And then this other side slides into like a little slot. So as you see here, we got this slot. That goes into there and just hangs. And then this side, push up into place, boom. And your window net is secure. So this bottom part has to also mount to the roll cage or the chassis, which I've seen a lot of people out there just strap from here to like your cage or whatever. And then once you release this, boom, you're free to get out. So pretty simple process, actually. We just had to figure out how to make it work. But it came together in about 10 minutes, so not too bad at all. All right, so your finished product. Roll cage pads are put on there. It does make a little bit of a squeeze to get my big butt through here, but it's not bad. Like I said, fancy status seat is mounted, ready to rip. Got this nice cheap suede wheel. Bought myself a little Fuelab horn button. All you need is just the cluster. Our bars are in place. We got them painted all black. The visual through it is way better. Everything's trimmed down, ready to go. But the truck's still ugly, so you know we got to do something about that. We replaced a whole bunch of suspension parts, which is boring, so we didn't want to show you that to get this thing pretty much ready to rip. But yeah, things are coming along really nicely. The wheels are here. We're going to get those things put on today. We're going to take this thing to the car wash, get it cleaned up, give it a beautification, have a rattle can job. We got a new fuel pump again because they're junk. So we got a whole module this time. We're not screwing around. Tyler's putting that in right now. This thing will be drivable, and we'll drive it up the road to the car wash, and then we'll get this thing painted. The wheels are looking sick. We got some, just like some basic circle track wheels, if I can get them out with one hand. But they got the yellow stripe around them that'll match like Fuelab colors really well. And we're gonna do like a black and yellow livery truck, so this thing's gonna come together and like look absolutely sick. So once we get this thing figured out, we'll go to the car wash, get this thing cleaned up. All right, it is the next day. The rain is gone and the cold is here. Of course, right when I have to drive this thing to the car wash. So Tyler and I actually just got back. It was a nice brisk drive with the wind in my face. Safety glasses kept me in good shape. But I just gave this thing just a quick spray, and I just dried it with one microfiber because I really don't care. Okay, I care. I want it to look good, but like it's not a professional paint job. I'm not gonna scuff it. I'm not gonna give it a grease and wax remover and do all the stuff that you're supposed to do. Just a spray and wipe, and then hit it with a nice rattle can coat. I'm using the VHT roll bar and chassis paint. I used the flat version on my rear firewall and on the roll cage. Came out really good. So I gave a test spray of this gloss on the bedside just for like 1 foot of it. Dude, it looks so good. Doesn't even make sense. So you see how crappy the entire paint job looks? And then you get there and it's like super shiny. So hard to tell on camera. Just have to take my word for it. But I'm gonna shoot the whole truck in it real quick once everything 100% dries off, and then the truck warms back up a little bit from the cold water and the cold air. But yeah, let's get to it and get this thing cleaned up, and then we'll get the wheels on. First things first, before I get to working too hard on this thing, gotta make some dinner. Big barbecue guys here in the shop. Got a burger with an egg on it. Money. Honestly, doesn't get much better than this. Well, we are all done with paint. Does it look great? No. Does it look okay? It'll look okay from the stands on the live stream, so that's really all that matters. The paint's still drying, so it looks extra glossy. Few runs. I let my girlfriend try to paint. Immediately ran down the whole fender, and I wiped it off with some paper towels. Looks worse. So, good thing there's going to be a nice all-star performance sticker going right there. But Yeah, I'm gonna get these wheels put on here because I am dying to see what it looks like without these ugly things on the truck. Okay, this thing looks pretty sweet. In hindsight, I wish I had gotten a little bit bigger tires so it could fill the wheel well a little bit better. But the wheel and tire combo is sick. I'm gonna get some yellow graphics on the side of the car and then all like the Fuelab logos and stuff on there. It's gonna be so good, dude. So excited. Okay, so now that super long video of the whole build of the entire Ford Ranger is done. It's all black in color. We just put it in the trailer. We're taking it to Vitch and Visuals. He's gonna do a livery on it to make this thing look rad, because you know we gotta look good and professional when we show up for this race. We leave in 2 days. You guys will see it this Friday. It's Monday? It's Monday. We head out first thing Thursday. We get there Friday and we'll post a reveal. This thing's gonna look pretty cool for just a nice little race truck that we're gonna beat the crap out of. But I'm super excited. Again, thank you so much to Fuelab and to All Star Performance and Vitch and Visuals for helping make this trip happen. Me, Austin, Jason, and Tyler could not be more thankful. We get to go to the mountains and we get to race on an oval track. So thank you guys very much for watching. If you made it this far, I know it was kind of boring, but I'd very much appreciate it. So like, comment, subscribe, and do all the stuff that we like. But thank you guys. We'll see you next time.